only 2 phases that you need to go through if you want to become a fluent speaker in English. In this video, I have talked about 2 phases of my English fluency journey that I have gone through that made me a fluent speaker. And I have also read some top books that I read that made me able to speak this language fluently. And if you read those books, nothing and nobody can stop you from learning this language from scratch. No matter where you come from, whether your background is Hindi medium background or English medium background, doesn't matter. If you read those books that I have recommended in this video, nothing and nobody can stop you from speaking this language fluently. This is my guarantee. So without doing any further delay, watch this video till the end, because anyway you are going to waste this time on random videos. Why not watch this video? Because this video is going to show you the path to English fluency. Now let's get started and talk about the first phase of my English fluency journey. I would say that one of the hardest phases of my English fluency journey was this phase, means first phase. In this phase, I had to learn everything from scratch. I had to learn how to write English. I had to learn how to understand English. I had to learn literally everything from zero. And this phase was one of the hardest phase in my English fluency journey. And most people give up in this phase. And let me also tell you that one of the hardest problems that I was facing in this phase was how to get started, where to start speaking this language. Because as I told you that I come from a Hindi medium background. On top of that, I come from a very small village where I had no one whom I could practice English with. But I didn't let these all problems stop me from speaking this language fluently, because learning English and becoming fluent in English was the most important thing for me back then in 2021. There was a very strong reason behind learning this language, and that decision changed everything. But one of the biggest problems that I was facing at that point in time back then in 2021 was where to get started, how to learn this language from zero. There was no one guiding me back then in 2021. But I had seen some of the people getting started with grammar first, and that's exactly what I did. I bought 2 books on grammar, and then I started learning some grammar rules in order to construct sentences. And after 2 to 3 months, I had read enough grammars to get started. Then I started forming sentences with the help of grammar rules. Then I started translating my mother tongue into English through translation rules. And this helped me a little bit. Yes, I won't say that it didn't help me. Translation helped me with getting started. So if you are someone like me coming from a Hindi medium background and want to get started and you are wondering where to start, I would say that start with translation. Try to speak English translating from your mother tongue into this language, because if you come from a Hindi medium background or non-English medium background and you are living in India, you have no any other option but to translate this language. If you come from a small village like me, there is no any other option for you rather than learning how to translate well. So the first lesson that you can take from here is start speaking this language by translating your mother tongue into English. Just get started with translation. So if you are someone starting off, I would recommend 2 basic books on grammar. Then after completing those 2 basic books on grammar, I would then say buy a book named Super Fast English. This was the book that helped me a lot when it comes to how I learned English, how I learned to form sentences. And the second book would be Instant English by Salam Chaus. Both the books are written by the same author, by Salam Chaus. Now you know what I did in phase 1. In phase 1, I learned to form sentences through grammar rules. I learned to write a little bit. These were the two things that I learned to do in phase 1. I didn't learn to listen to this language and understand this language. I didn't learn to speak this language in phase 1. Although I had targeted that I would do this, but I never reached that point. Now I wanted to speak this language. Now I wanted to understand everything in this language. So these were the two biggest problems that were coming in my way. So in phase 2, what I did, I started watching YouTube videos on how to become fluent speaker, because I had decided to become a fluent speaker. And in phase 2, I realized that learning English and becoming fluent in English was like looking at the mountain from the bottom of the mountain. Like I had to surmount this mountain. But I didn't give up. I started consuming content on how to speak this language fluently on YouTube. I started watching a lot of content on YouTube, and as a result, I came to know a lot of techniques, a lot of tricks, a lot of tips that could make me a fluent speaker. Yeah, in phase 2, I came across a lot of techniques, a lot of tricks that I could use to become a fluent speaker. And I used a lot of techniques and tips, but I came to my own conclusion. I came to my own conclusion that there were only two things that I did that played the most important role in making me a fluent speaker, I would say. By the way, I used a lot of techniques and tricks, but the two techniques that I am going to give you in this video that I used in phase 2 that made me able to speak this language fluently, and that made me very comfortable with speaking this language, as I am able to clarify what I am saying to you. And the way I came to my own conclusion was because I started studying about language learning on Google, and I came to know that the reason that someone learns a language is because he or she totally immersed himself or herself into the language. So I totally immersed myself into this language. Listening and speaking this language was the two things that I did every single day. I started listening to this language every single day. And if you are someone wondering how to become a fluent speaker, I would say that prioritize listening. Keep listening thing on the top of your list, I would say. Listen to this language as much as you can. Listen to when you are walking, listen to when you are eating, listen to when you are sleeping, listen to something or the other in English. There is nothing more powerful than listening. Listening is something that is going to make you a fluent speaker. This is my guarantee. And the reason I am talking about listening so much is because the way I am speaking, the reason I am speaking this language well is the result of listening to this language every single day. And what do I mean by listening? When I talk about listening, don't literally understand listening. I am talking about watching movies, because while watching movies you listen to. Watching vlogs in English, listening to English songs, listening to English cartoons. But if you are a beginner, should you still be listening to English songs? I would say never. Never listen to English songs if you are a beginner, because that way you are only going to waste your time. I don't want you to waste your time. Start with something basic. Start with English cartoons. How about baby cartoons? Listen to baby cartoons, because that way what you are doing to your mind is you are learning like a baby. And the second thing that you should be doing every single day is speaking this language. I don't know who you are going to talk to in this language. I don't know if you have an English environment or if you have English partner. I don't know. But what I know is you have yourself always. What do I mean? You can talk to yourself every time. Like every time you speak something, every time you talk, you open your mouth. And every time you open your mouth, this is an opportunity to practice English. This is what I did. As I come from a Hindi medium background and I have no one in my village, in my entire village, whom I could speak English, whom I could practice English with. But despite having no one, I didn't let it stop me from practicing this language. I had a strong reason, as I told you. So I want you to talk to yourself every single day, because every time you open your mouth, this is an opportunity to practice English. And this is what I did. I practiced English every single day. I talked to myself every single day. And this is not only me saying this. I have watched a lot of Bollywood celebrities interviews, and people like Manoj Vajpayee, Pankaj Tripathi talk about English learning, that when they were alone, they used to talk to themselves in English, and that way they learned how to speak this language fluently. The reason I know a lot on this topic of how to speak this language is because when I started learning this language, I searched everything. I wanted to find a shortcut path to fluency, and as a result, I just searched for every shortcut that I could find, but I didn't find any. At the end of the day, I realized that speaking and listening were the two things that were going to make me a fluent speaker, and that's exactly what I did. And I am not saying that I have stopped learning this language. I still practice this language every single day through videos, through talking to ChatGPT, through talking to people. I have not stopped practicing this language, because I believe one thing: when it comes to communication skills, I believe that the more you practice this skill, the better you get at it. This is like never ending process. The more you practice, the better you get. And if you are still watching this video, let me know in the comment section that you watched your video till the end, and that way you are just telling me that you are on the right path, you are on the right track. So in the end, I just want to tell you, if you found this video to be helpful for you in any way, share this video with one of your friends and subscribe to this channel, because this motivates me to make more videos. And if you have any question in your mind, let me know in the comment section so that I can make a video on that, if your problems are worth noticing. So bye bye till then.